On the list, former Chargers and Jets running back LaDainian Tomlinson. So, gentlemen, let's pick a former player or coach that might be on the bubble, and you make a case why he deserves induction into Canton. Brady Quinn, starting with you.
I'm going to start with John Lynch. Look, get this guy in there. 9-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro, won a Super Bowl back in 2002 with the Tampa Bay Bucks. And look, he's in the Ring of Honor, the Ring of Fame, whatever you're going to call it there in Tampa and in Denver. And I think you look at it as far as what epitomizes character and as far as what a leader means and a captain of a football team, that's John Lynch. And you can't tell me that that doesn't play some sort of factor in the voting for the Hall of Fame voters, because when you look at a guy like Terrell Owens, I mean, he kind of got snubbed, and you'll probably make the case here in a minute.
I might.
He should have gotten in the first time he had a chance to. And you're right, but I think John Lynch is a guy who should get in, very favorable of that. I think he will personally. And look, again, at the end of the day, if he doesn't get in this time, he'll get in the next time. And that's all these guys, you can make the case, are very deserving. But I think at the end of the day, John Lynch probably deserves to get in this time.
Now, it should surprise nobody that the CEO, the president, and the founder of the Tony Baselli fan club, Pete Prisco, will take up here and stump for his buddy, Tony B. Take it away, Pete.
Yes, he's a friend of mine. Yes, he is. But he's also one of the greatest left tackles I've ever seen play with my own two eyes. And I've been around for a long time, Nick. I'm talking about Anthony Munoz, Walter Jones, and Tony Baselli, the three best I've ever seen with my own two eyes. And people will say, well, he didn't play long enough. Why should he be in the Hall of Fame? He started more games than Dwight Stevenson, who is in the Hall of Fame as a center. He is a fantastic player. Ask Bruce Smith, 1996 Defensive Player of the Year in the playoff game in a one-on-one situation. Tony Baselli stoned Bruce Smith the entire game. Tony Baselli deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
That's the interesting, though, Pete. You know, there's a lot of criteria we can break down. You brought up Dwight Stevenson. He's really the only one you can really look at and say, yeah, his career is kind of short. And I guess maybe Lynn Swann, you could throw his name in there.
Won four Super Bowls, Dwight Stevenson.
Yeah,
Steelers.
And that's one of the other issues, too, is at what point, Pete, do you factor in the success of the team and whether they won the Super Bowls and all those sorts of things, especially when a guy had a shorter career, even as dominant as Tony Baselli was during the time that he played?
Well, I think, you know, these are individual honors, Brady. That's become a problem in there. And you know, it's not a team honor. This is about the individual. If an individual is a great player, he deserves to be in the Hall. It's not the Hall of Very Good. It's not the Hall of Longevity. It's the Hall of Fame. Tony Baselli is a Hall of Fame left tackle.
Pete, you use that whole Super Bowl and the team wins. You use that all the time. But here's the thing. There's a long list of criteria, and at some point, they have to factor that sort of stuff in there. And I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be. I think he does. But I think at the end of the day, you can't keep saying that Super Bowls or championships and all that or wins and losses are a team stat. They do end up, you know, using that as part of the criteria for getting some of these players in versus others, or even as an MVP
Don't make me
versus
pick
others.
your guy apart. I'll pick your guy apart. Your guy shouldn't even be ahead of Leroy Butler. He shouldn't be ahead of Darren Woodson. He shouldn't be ahead of Brian Dawkins. Your guy, John
Okay,
Lynch.
then all of a sudden we can start throwing in a lot of other tackles I think we can throw into the conversation as well. And that's the thing.
Who?
First off, it's not up to us, Pete, to do that. You're explaining your criteria. I'm the one trying to pick at it because you don't have an explanation for it. That's the only reason I'm saying at some point you have to look at Super Bowls as mattering.